Grand Rising Farm, hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you're well and everything is going as planned. This is Desamos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking impasse free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality. I talk about personal and self-development. And if that's what resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. Let's talk about marriage. Now, there is nothing disturbing, such as waking up one day and realizing you have been married to the wrong person. It may be okay if it's been a day, maybe a week, two, maybe a month, whatever, or maybe even a year. But when you do wake up and realize that whole time you've been married to the wrong person, it is something that is very hard to digest, okay? Because now you're counting the years, you're counting the losses, you're dealing with trauma, you're dealing with all these things that you wasn't even prepared for. You didn't even know you would experience at some point. And then you realize it is, yeah, okay, that's what it is. It happened. There's nothing you can do. And what is left for you is to go out there and heal from the breakup, whatever it's a divorce or separation. Now, there is things that happen when you marry the wrong person. I want to talk about some of the things that are likely to happen if you marry the wrong person. Again, I've always told you guys, these things is what I think. These are my views. Take it with a grain of salt. See if you can meditate on the message. Does it resonate? Okay. Take what resonates with you. I would later on understand that we sometimes get into marriages for the wrong reasons. Remember, you're going to spend, apparently, because you signed that thing, the marriage contract, in sickness and in health, in this and this, and in that and that. Okay. Those are the, what do they call it? Is it the rules of marriages or something? They're like rules or something. So you sign the contract, you get in. And sometimes people are getting married for the wrong reasons. Somebody's getting married because this guy is the CEO of which bank. That guy has got a very successful business. Somebody will get married because this guy has got a swimming pool in his yard. That guy sleeps in a mansion. Some ladies get married because that guy is good in bed. Now, there can be so many reasons people get married. But sometimes, if that marriage is not coming from the heart, I can promise you, you are most likely getting into the wrong marriage. Because you see, we have been conditioned to look at things on the outside, from the outside. What people have, what can they offer? A lot of times you hear people asking, what do you bring to the table? Those kind of things. A person is asking you, what do you bring to the table? And the only thing they bring to the table is their beautiful, behind. Or somebody's bringing to the table their six packs. Somebody's bringing to the table their very expensive car. But these are all things from the physical. You don't actually look at the energetic part of it, because you see, when it comes to marriage, I would believe it is also important to take into account the energetic vibration of an individual. Because you see, if you look at people from the outside, it is not going to give you the clear picture of what the person looks like inside, because those are two different things. What you may see on the outside is not what is on the inside. And what is on the inside may not also be what is on the outside. But in my opinion, I would believe we should have the discernment to understand the energetic vibration of an individual. And if that person is vibrating properly, energetically, you don't have to put much into consideration the physical, what they have, the jobs they do, the way they appear and stuff like that. You only process this whole relationship based on the person's energetic frequency, okay? Because you understand energies is currency. So you know when you get into that relationship and you guys are vibrating properly, energetically, you can now build your life the way you want it to be on the physical. And you're going to be moving toward the same direction. You can actually build empires based on somebody's energetic frequency. The relationships you have nowadays are superficial, so people like they're no longer considering the because a lot of people have gone through so much stuff and they're like, okay, now I want to settle down. I want a man who is wealthy. I'm gonna marry a man who is rich. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. People have forgotten that everything starts with energy. You have got to be equally yoked for a marriage to work. The two of you have got to be equally yoked for the marriage to work. If you didn't take the time to understand your partner on an energetic level because you could only see what was on the surface, then there's a very big chance that relationship could have a lot of challenges down the road. Sometimes when you're not equally yoked and you're in the wrong marriage, you are going to experience depression. I was in a 7-year-old marriage, ladies and gentlemen, and depression was the order of the day. I couldn't properly understand why would I feel very bad about this individual? Why was I always worried about this? Because this was a very negative individual. This was a very negative individual, and I couldn't understand why was I feeling a certain way. It is very likely you are always going to be depressed when you are married to the wrong person, when you are not equally yoked with that individual. The second, I could say challenge, I no longer want to use the word problems. The second challenge you could experience when you are not equally yoked with an individual, especially for a lot of us who have been married to these narcissistic individuals, you could experience having children that have got some mental health problems. Along the lines, you're having these children with bipolar, what do they call it? Those bipolar syndromes and everything. You're having children, autistic children, because the child is in the middle of two completely opposing energies. A very highly vibrational father and a very low vibrational mother. Now the child is in the middle, and the child doesn't know where they belong energetically. So even spiritually, the child is not in balance. So it's why now sometimes you start to see a lot of children who are born and now they have all these mental health conditions. Energetically, the two of you wasn't matched. You wasn't equally yoked. That is why sometimes you can end up having those kind of offsprings, I could say. Something else I want to talk about is there is going to be financial instability when you are married to the wrong person. You could be married to a person who is looking very beautiful. We know a lot of people. We have this very nice looking woman, beautiful body, but she doesn't work. She stays at home. She don't even want to work, or even the man doesn't want to work. Some of you women are the bread earners of the home. You have this guy who is always waking up to play video games. You're the one who is putting in the work to go out there and do the work. And you're the one who is putting food on the table. So there's always going to be financial struggles in a marriage when you marry the wrong person. Because you're two people who are not energetically matched, who are people living on the opposite side of the spectrum. Now you have A lot of your finances are in shape. A lot of you guys, for example, you could have gotten married to this lady or whatever man. He was wealthy, he was doing okay, you had a business going on, everything was nice. And out of the blue, you don't know what happened, and your business started going down. You're not selling nothing. Something is going on, you don't know what is happening, you're losing money in your shop and everything. The business is going down. Because again, I've told you your energy is your currency. So you're putting in the work, but you have another person who's not putting in the work. So they're drawing, whatever it is you build, they're drawing it from you. So you don't even question as to why a lot of times you see people who have lost empires just because they was married to the wrong person. There's also going to be a lot of quarreling and arguments when you marry to the wrong person, because you have got a person that completely believes something very different from what you believe in. And it's always like you guys are always on the fight. You're telling the person, let us go left. That thing happened to me back in the years. Let us try this option. Let us try that option. Oh, no, that one doesn't work. This one, this. They say, okay, you think it doesn't work? Let us try your let's go your direction. And we'll now go to the other direction, only for us to find out that we're all falling into the pit. Now, you see, sometimes you are dealing with very dysfunctional people. A dysfunctional person doesn't have the ability to emotionally strategize and emotionally think what needs to be done, the right thing to be done. So they're always going to drag you left when you're supposed to be going right. And you guys are going to end up. It's why you see a lot of times in these narcissistic relationships. By the time you leave the relationship, you're already struggling financially. Some of you are in debt, you know. You've already been taking loans and this and this. This is what happens. But again, we need to understand that arguments are going to be the order of the day. So you're going to be working on eggshells. Whenever you come back home, you will be wondering what is going to be the next fight. Where is the next fight going to come from? So you're always going to be wondering what are they going to say? How do they feel about you? What are those kind of stuff? You're going to be in arguments all the time. And there is something else that happens when you marry the wrong person. A lot of people are going to break away from you. So the people that matter, you may notice there's some people that you had a very nice community. Before you got married, you had this beautiful community of high vibrational souls. You used to do things together, go to the gyms together, do some yogas together, do this and that. And when you got married to that person, all those individuals left the vicinity because they are starting to pick up on the energy. That thing happened to me as well. So I used to have these friends who used to every now and then they pop up. We have a meal, sometimes we chat a little bit, we do this and that. When I got married, that was it. A friend that I had personally told me he wasn't going to come back to my house because he visited at one point and he saw the energy wasn't right. And he was like, I don't want to come back because there's a way your partner looks at me and this and this. So that was the end of our friendship. So you're going to lose a lot of friends, my chosen ones, when you are married to the wrong person. Something else that will happen when you marry the wrong person is health. Your health will deteriorate. If you don't lose weight, you're going to gain a lot of weight. Because you're married to an individual who is most likely dysfunctional. They are either going to overfeed you or they will underfeed you. So you may sometimes find yourself having very little on your plate. Some of the food may even be overcooked or undercooked. Or sometimes you may find a lot of food on your plate and you're going to start adding on a lot of weight. So you may start struggling with health problems. Sometimes you may be eating the wrong things. You have a person who eats food, a certain type of food you're not even used to. But because you're married to this person, you may say, okay, we're going to eat together. You will eat the food. And at the end of the day, that food is not going to work out well in your stomach. So you may start now experiencing little bits of, bits and bits of health problems. Personally, back in the years, it was stomach issues. Okay. I had very, very serious stomach issues at the time. And of course, as you go down the line, along the line, there will be different types of health conditions that may also manifest in that relationship. Can be acne, can be migraines, it can be different types of fungus. You're going to find yourself falling sick, you know, and the sickness can also come from stress. It's not only the food, it can also come from stress. When you're overstressed, the body will stop to function the way it should do, the way it should be. So you may find yourself getting different types of sicknesses here and there. When you're married to the wrong person, there's very big chances you're not going to raise a healthy family. Because again, you're two people that are not equally yoked. You're moving in different directions. The children have to listen to the father, and they have to listen to the father. And sometimes the father is giving them the wrong information, the mother is giving them the right information. So now they're in the middle. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to believe. They don't know where to go. So you may find yourself raising a very unhealthy family, okay? Children are also always struggling in school because they had their parents at home was fighting with each other. So now the children are struggling with education. They cannot perform properly. They cannot focus in school. They cannot focus in their classes. Those things will happen when you marry the wrong person. And there is nothing that beats everything like losing all this time with the wrong person. So you're going to lose time. At the end of the marriage, you're looking at yourself. You've hit your 60s, maybe you've hit your 50s, and the entire 30 years of your life you was married to the wrong person. So you lose a lot of time. So what I'm trying to say in this video, basically, guys, take your time. Understand what kind of partner you want. What are you looking for? And at the same time, understand what have you got to offer. Because it's not like you're looking for everybody to fill in the other gaps of you that you're missing. You need to be a whole package and try to make sure that you find a person who also is going to be pouring into you, okay? Don't try to date people that have got nothing to offer. Whether it is love, whether it is different types of things, try to date people who are also going to pour into you. So it is supposed to be a give and take kind of relationship whereby you're pouring into them and they're pouring into you. Because the more you pour into somebody that is not pouring back into you, that relationship is going to drain you. Okay? So I don't know which other things you can think about in this video. You guys know that has been my own perspective. If you have something else to add on, let us know in the comment section below. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzomos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.